right. Just real quick, good afternoon, everyone. We're waiting on a few people to join us. And in the meantime, Tristan's going to give us an update on some items he's been working on. We have my check. And today we're hoping to see some ideas and some work from couple of members in the community. And then either before or after that, we'll see Tristan will give us an update on a few items he's working on. So welcome. Morning, Maciek, or good afternoon, Maciek.
Hi. Oh, I'm old. Hi, how are you?
Very good, very good. The hour change just tripped you up, huh? The time change.
Exactly. And I ordered
know.
food, so I will need to take it like 1 minute back to grab food. Thanks.
Fair enough. I get it. I get it. So what do you want to do, Tristan? You want to start or you want Maciek start? Any preference?
It's all the same to me. Since maybe Maciek can start because my server is still booting up.
Okay.
Yeah, I just need like 2 minutes because I think that actually food just delivery is happening right now. Sorry,
Sure.
I just
no worries. Go ahead. Go.
Oh, let's do this.
All right.
Yeah. So a little bit of an update on what we have been working on the last few days. So you guys know there is an undo functionality coming for you on the template editor. I've demoed that before. What I haven't demoed before is the lock functionality. So let me show this to you guys. So when you have a certain element on your page in place, you can now click lock and this will be locked in place. You cannot change it anymore. You cannot change the position anymore, nor can you change the sizing, etc. Unless you change it through this this windows. This is meant for locking the drag and drop, not locking the entire element. That's one thing that we've changed. Another thing that we've changed is once you have a group of elements that you want to have stick together, you can now group these elements. So let me show this to you. You just select all of those elements and hit group. And every time you select now one of these will be selected all, and then you can move them in group any way you want. You can copy them in group. They will be copied as well, and so on. So voila. Of course, groups can be stacked, which actually means that you can create like a group within a group. So for example, I have this as a group. This is my first group. Now I want to create a second group where I group this vertical list with these vertical lists. So all I have to do is hit group and they will be grouped together as 3 parts. If I disband the group like this, this will be disbanded and these will still be grouped like this. So this is all, of course, meant to elevate what we have been creating with regards to blocks. We have gotten quite some blocks already, and as I mentioned, we have been working on the performance of adding these blocks. So as you can see, I just added it, and a whole bunch of elements arrived on my screen already. We can test this out in preview mode. So let me quickly do that. Let me bust the cache here real quick and then open this up in preview mode, and it will open up the entire page as I just dragged and dropped on the page. So what we're doing right now is we're starting to add actions to those blocks. So every time you drag and drop a block on page, it will include actions, which will then include a blueprint of the actions that you need to execute in order to make the blocks available to to use in your application. Will we be able to add our own blocks to reuse them across our apps? In fact, this is a functionality that Ukarpuk, that's a very good question. I think you can already do this by using reusable templates or reusable components. So you can put together your reusable component. You can add some elements to it, and then, for example, I'll just quickly add a pie chart here, and I'll call this my pie chart. You can add parameters to this and so on, and then in any other template that you want, you can actually use this, I'll just search for my pie or pie chart. No, it's not. Maybe it's. I have to look for. Let's see. This should be here. It's still unnamed. I probably didn't hit the save. So let me search for these. Reuse template, use another. So if you drag and drop a template component in here, it should come up as a reusable component right here. So I have to check what's going on with this part. But reusing blocks that you create can be done through this reusable template components. We might add the possibility to add these blueprints in later versions, so you can add your own blueprints. But then I don't know how that will work yet. So we haven't really thought about it. Appear as a single element on the page. Is this different than blocks? Yes, this is a very different than blocks, because blocks are really a blueprint of elements. So they are to be changed in the template themselves. So for example, here they will be grouped by default. So we still have to do the group thing. So this is configuration by now. But they will be grouped by default, and they will have groups inside groups, but they will allow you to change the blocks that you added to the page inside the page and not in a different element. So that's the difference between blocks and templates, reusable templates. Indeed. So that with regards to blocks, another thing that we have been working on is, and this has been requested. Let me quickly check where I can showcase this. This is really still a work in progress, but let me drag and drop a button in place. But we are bringing back the AI assistant with regards to not only Rocket mode, but with regards to inside the template editor. So from now on, you can ask anything, change this color, this button's color in red, for example. So we'll be bringing back this, and this will be mainly also trying to use the blocks whenever you ask something from it, and then it will change the blocks according to your question. Yeah, Ukarpuk, we will look into the fact if we can have a possible solution for that, for you to add your own blocks in the future. So yeah, as I said, this is still work in progress. We still have to do some tweaks to refresh the page whenever your change has been added. And of course, we will not limit ourselves to changing the color of a button. You will be able to ask, for example, create a contact form in this vertical list, and then it will start creating the contact form based on the blocks that we have in our system, and then it will add fields, for example, to the contact form, or even change some fields, change some actions, and so on. So that's what we are working on at the moment. Yeah, and I think that's a quick update from my side, and then I think I can pass it on to either Lloyd or Maciek, depending on who goes first.
Actually, Lloyd had a question. Does this work for actions as well?
Yeah, so we're starting to bring the AI assistant back to the pages. this will also, of course, generate actions when you ask it. So for example, if you ask this contact form has to write the contact information to the database, it will add some actions to the template and do this. But we'll also be bringing it back to the action screen in a similar fashion, where you select the block from where you want to start, and then it will add functionality to that block or change that block from, or change your action from there on. So you can actually decide which piece of context that you want to give the AI to start working on. Does that answer your question, Lloyd?
Nice.
Yes, that's great.
Are you happy? Are you happy with this, or are you saying, Tristan, you have to do it completely differently?
You have to do it now.
Now, exactly. That was exactly my
doing
thought.
it now. Yeah. I understand.
No, it's good. It's good.
Awesome. Do you have any? I know the ultimate answer to this, but do you have any projection in terms of when any of these would be deployable? Undo or blocks?
Yeah, we're going as fast as possible. You can imagine that this is a huge amount of work, especially because we have to get the AI done. But it'll be hopefully it'll be in the next coming days, weeks. So just please have a little bit more patience. But we're working on this, and we will release this as fast as possible. But also, we've learned from our mistakes. We don't want to release and break applications, so we want to do it carefully as well. So we want to stay careful and also release as fast as possible. So yeah, that's a bit of a clash between those two.
Yeah. Move fast and break things, but not other people's things.
Yeah, move fast, break things, but not too much. Not let's try to break nothing. But yeah.
Yep. All right. So Lloyd, are you ready to go?
I'm certainly ready to go. So what I'm going to do is, so just a bit of a recap. So I've been vibe coding a front end and using NoCode-X as the back end and the auth for that application. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through the user journey and point out on way through the user journey where we are interacting with NoCode-X, and then I'll show you the background, just how that's set up in NoCode-X. Does that sound like a plan?
It does. If possible, see if you can, if 20 minutes is possible, that'd be great, because we need to leave a little bit of time for my check as well.
Yeah,
if that's cool.
I will zip through it. Let me
all right,
find a screen to share. That's this one.
Okay.
That's not. Okay. May have to edit this bit out. I'm not.
What's that?
Great. You might have to edit this bit out. I'm not a great user of. Oh no, it is this one. Okay, sorry. So you should.
Yep.
Can you see the?
Yep, I see it.
Right. Awesome. So this is the home. Well, this is the landing page for beliefforge.com. So when the user lands here, obviously tells them what it's about. This has nothing to do with NoCode-X at the moment. You would enter your email here, and you will then get put onto the email system, and it will then send you an email, and you will have a link to come to here. So this is a register component within NoCode-X that is embedded on this page. So what it's doing is it's picking up your email from the URL, and it's auto-populating it so that only people who have subscribed to the email subscription can then register, because I'm in pre-launch and we're only doing 100 pre-launch users. So you enter this, and then you're ready to log in, and it will take you to this page. And when you click that, it will take you to the NoCode-X authorization pages. It seems to be loading a little bit slower at the moment, so we'll wait for that to load. Now, here we go. So this then is a NoCode-X login page that is part of the auth setup on NoCode-X. So we'll then log in, and it will redirect us to the main page of BeliefForge. So on BeliefForge, it's a Mindshift audio generator. So you have a chat with an AI. So let's do that to start with. But all of this data, when you land, the user data, so like the name, the credits that you have, are all being pulled in from NoCode-X via APIs. So this is a dynamic page for that user, which is a vibe coded front end dynamic page, but using NoCode-X for the database. So if we get started on creating an area of focus, obviously not true, but we will work through it in our mind. It's just a negative belief that we have, not a resemblance of reality. So what's happening is that this is an N8N workflow that is being fired off when we're having a chat with an AI on that, on the N8N. So you then chat through this. I won't go through the whole thing. So what I will do is we'll go to previous sessions, and we can continue on from previous sessions. So again, on this page, we're dynamically loading data from NoCode-X. And based on that data, we're being shown different options. So if I click continue, what's happened is that there is a database entry that tells the system whereabouts in the flow that we are. So at the moment, we have had the chat with the AI. That has then sent back data to the NoCode-X database via the N8N chat flow that we were using beforehand. That has then populated the grading page, which what we can actually do is go to, so this is obviously NoCode-X. We go to the data, and then we go to the session data, and we open this one. So this is the data where we are at the moment, and let me just have a quick check of the state logic so that I know I get it right. So if I just quickly change the current stage to grading, move us around, and then save that. If I come back to Mindshift audio, if we go back to the previous sessions, we are now in grading beliefs. So that's a live example of that data going backwards and forwards from the front end to the NoCode-X database. Nice. So if I now click on that, we go to the grading. So what we've done is we've chatted with the N8N workflow, which has then at the end of that chat written back to the NoCode-X database, brings us to here, which is populated by the NoCode-X database. And then now I've clicked on that, which is the grade that how strongly I believe this negative belief. It has written back to NoCode-X for that specific belief. So these are all individual beliefs, all being updated dynamically, one at a time through the APIs. So we just grade all of these randomly, then clicking continue to add the affirmations. This is firing off another N8N workflow, which is creating the affirmations based on the negative beliefs and obviously creating positive ones. That's then being written by that N8N workflow back to the NoCode-X database, and it creates these affirmations that we saw before. You can edit them, so you can click on it, and then it opens it up as a editable text field, and then when you save it, it writes back to the NoCode-X database.
Very cool.
The next bit is you generate the audio. I'll generate it. It takes a couple of minutes. That is saving everything back. Sorry, every time you save that affirmation, that's going back as a single entry in the beliefs. this is now fired off to another workflow that is going to 11 labs, creating those affirmations as voice files. They are being saved to a separate system that I've written that is then using those and generating the audio that you would then listen to every day. I'm just trying to think. So that's where we sit here. I need to update some of this because it's obviously still very raw. So this needs to have a better message, and then I think should take you to previous sessions. But it looks like so that has now gone back to so that flow has then created that audio, written back to the NoCode database. So this is several systems all referring back to the NoCode database, and has provided the URL that it's created for the audio file that it's had. So if we click play, that file's still being processed. So this is, again, this is still early doors. These are the little user flow that I need to clear. So when we, what's happened is the flow has written back to the database, but the back end is still creating the audio. But it's written back to the database saying it's ready. So it's just a little hiccup in the flow that I've got. But if we go back to the home session, you can change the consistency. So how often have you listened to that audio? Obviously you want to get your streaks up. So you've got streaks here, a little bit of gamification for it. I'll add some more of that. Again, all writing back to the database. So every time you listen to it, it writes back to the NoCode database. And when we come back here, it's pulling that data in, and these would be green if you'd listened to it on that day. So you can look at your 28 and 7-day streak. If anyone's watched the videos where Tristan and I have built this directly in NoCode-X, you'll understand the flows that are working here. The reason I've done it this way is because I did build this in another NoCode editor beforehand, before I discovered NoCode-X. It taken me a reasonable amount. I'm doing this in a very cozy manner for myself. So it's took me about almost a year to write it in that other, and then that platform collapsed. So I just wanted to get this out there. The fastest way to do it was to use NoCode-X and the authors for the author and the database, and then just vibe code it, because obviously in that year AI had come on leaps and bounds. So let's see if that audio is working yet. It's not. Still
Let me ask you a question, if I may. This front end, you say you vibe coded. Does that mean you're using like cursor or something, and and this is JavaScript and HTML? Is that what the front end is that we're looking at?
It's so I did it with using Claude Code inside VS Code. That's my favorite IDE at the moment. So it's using Tailwind, JavaScript. I should bring the file up. That's something I should have done.
No, that's fine. I'm just curious about the architecture. So yeah, your front end is 100% vibe coded, and then the role NoCode-X plays is the authentication and then the database piece. Is that right? In terms of like the state of all of these sessions.
That's exactly right. So if I go to the back end, so we've got the application itself. So where's the one? It's in the workspace, isn't it? So in the workspace, we've got the authentication, and as Tristan said before, this authentication goes across all apps within this workspace. But if we scroll down, so I've used this reference, gave it to the AI, said this is what NoCode-X is saying. How do we implement it? And it was very simple, pretty simple, to be honest with you. There were a couple of typos on my end that came in, but I've authorized for the auth process the my dot domain subdomain and the sandbox dot subdomain. So sandbox is my dev area, and then my is my production. And then we just use these URLs that have been provided. So that literally is as simple as the auth. I'm using the vanilla login pages, and then just make a few tweaks here and there, and then just told them where they are in the auth pages. And then that's it. and then I've got in the data, I've got additional, actually we'll look at configs. So we're not looking at data schemas. So we've got the session itself, which this you've got the gradings and stuff. Then you've got the listened event. So every time you listen to it, it gets tagged here with the user's details. You've got user additional details. So these are the credits you've got when you last logged in, because eventually I want to have reactivation sequences. So if someone hasn't logged in, and I'll be doing that with actions within NoCode-X. So it'll be, or jobs. So it will look for people who haven't used the app in the last, 14 days. And then it will send it, it will activate an email sequence to try and get them back in. So again, heavy use of the functionality within NoCode-X. And what else is in the user? When they logged in, there's various bits that I'm just using for general housekeeping. So my next steps with NoCode-X is there's a couple of other things I want to start logging, and then I want to build out a page that shows me all the data that I'm looking at. So how many people haven't logged in for X amount of time. Like a proper admin dashboard, just so that then I have that for the app. And that's basically it. That's
nice.
Front end connecting to the back end. Again, a couple of flows through N8N, and that's how it's all working.
And the front end and N8N are transferring data to NoCode-X via API predominantly. Is that right?
Yeah, it's all being done via API. So the APIs are here. So we've got your basic CRUD APIs. So you'll create, update, delete, and I always forget what R is. read, because you need it. So so you got your basic CRUD APIs, which to be honest with you, I just created the data schemas and then used the create API functionality within NoCode-X just to create the basic CRUD stuff. And I've got some other ones that are doing some database reading that are doing it based on email of the logged in user. So all the data is using the logged in user's email as the unique identifier. So where obviously we need to grab that. So we send that as part of the payload in the API, grab that and use that within the action to then pull that data out just for that user. So there's no crossover. And that's basically it.
It's very nice. I'm chuckling to myself, putting my coaching hat on, and I love these APIs. Update a single belief, delete a single belief. If only it was that easy for us as humans, right?
Well, that's what Belief Forge is there for. to help you do it.
Very cool.
Man, this is awesome. Congrats. Are you getting a good response? Are people signing up for it and whatnot?
Yeah, so I'm really slow. I am, like I say, I'm kind of doing the whole thing as a cozy business. I have a day job, so I'm not overly desperate to make it work tomorrow. Obviously I want to make it work, but I'm getting really good feedback. I've got 15 pre-launch users now. Everybody's well, out of the 15, 7 of them are active. And the feedback I've got from there is there's been a couple of bugs which were needed sorted out, but pretty much everything's been really positive. Everyone likes the audio that's created. Everyone likes the flow of it. There's a couple of suggestions as to how to improve it, as there always are. But yeah, no, it's really good at the moment. I'm just knuckling down. I've gone to 4 days a week so I can, well, to the end of the year, so that I can knuckle down on the marketing and just try and get these pre-launch users.
Nice.
Very cool. Congrats. Thank you for showing it to us. That's awesome. It's always fun to see things like this. So, all right. Just to make use of our time, so let's go right to Maciek. Maciek, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
All right. Yep, I hear you just fine.
Super. Okay. Then I will be showing some ideas. Those are. Am I sharing the correct screen? Yeah, this one. So I guess we can call it maybe like NoCode-X Labs or something. So those are like very early ideas that we only consider for implementation right now. And I would love to get some feedback. The goal is the number one. We want to like hit the number one complaint about the platform, which is it's too complicated. So we are looking for an ideas to simplify. And please, we don't have much time on this campfire, so maybe write us later. And if you are watching recording of this, leave maybe a comment. Do those changes hit the places which you found, which you found to be complicated? Is it like, are we, with those ideas, are we in the area that you find maybe it needs improvement in simplification? So
Okay.
it's going to be around picking of the elements from the sidebar, mostly. And here the first idea in our labs is that maybe instead of this list, we could have something that's more like an alternative. And we are considering that it could be maybe a tab. So like it would still be a list that you can filter right now. But then there will be something new, which we consider to call maybe a picker or something like that. And it could maybe look like that. And it's what you see here is it's just a drawing, first of all, just a visualization. And it's like all the form elements that we have with the most common on the top. And what we found important here is that they cannot look exactly as they will here, because this will be confusing and it will take more space. So it has to be like a simplified, and the idea is that you can click it and drag it. So this is like we hope it can be maybe an easier way to find the element that you need on this interface. Yeah, we had a journey with this just for maybe fun. This was the very fast first hand-drawn version. Will be more, because it cannot look exactly as, but definitely the hand-drawn balsamic was too far. So it's going to be probably something like this if we are going to do it. Second, so it's actually easier for the elements, but probably this is a place where it's also we think, but please tell us that maybe it's not the biggest place that needs improvement. And what we suspect that may be more important is the actions. So yeah, here there is also a list, and we are also considering how we can simplify. I think there is like a 500 options here, and this is harder. So how we can bring here some kind of like a better or alternative interface. And what we thought is maybe we could have some of the examples of the so here are two ideas actually. One is maybe we could have like an example of the workflow. Again, this is not like the UI will not look exactly like this. This is just more a visualization, just an illustration and something we can maybe talk over. But I think there are like two ideas here. First is that there could be like an example action. This action is like a form that will then hit the database and will retrieve a book by ID that was sent here. And then it will display this in the title. So first of all, like maybe you could have, again, as an alternative to the list that you have right now, some kind of like a workflow examples to pick from. But then there is a second idea here that could maybe be implemented separately, and we are considering this, that maybe we could develop kind of a language of symbols. So this is like a read from input to the variable, and then read from database to the object, and then change object into string and then put string into title, and maybe it can help. This is, yeah, it's like
It's-
a
So question, is this kind of like the blueprints that Tristan's working on, or is this different from blueprints?
it's very close. And we like arrived at the same idea from two directions, but I think you can say the whole flow is like a blueprint.
Yeah, I like the idea of a blueprints that people can, like a library, if you will, blueprints that people can search for what they're trying to do. You know, common actions like this right here is great, right? Get something and store it in the database. And this is how you do it. So yeah, I like that idea a lot.
So what we're doing with the blocks, we also want to do eventually with actions. So a set of blueprints that allow you to drag and drop a blueprint into place in your action that does a bunch of stuff. But I think what Maciek is showing here is really a combination of ideas. First of all, visualizing the selection of functions in a way that helps you understand what each function does and why you would use, for example, fetch by ID, and visualizing it maybe through a graphic language, a language of symbols, as Maciek told us, that allows you to understand what each function does. For example, fetch by ID gets something from the database, puts it in the variable scope. The first icon or the first symbol is a database. The second symbol is a symbolization of the variable scope. So,
and we have a question from Fabrica. Just to summarize, the idea is that you could pick one of those actions, or maybe the whole workflow, but you could select one of those steps and drag it. So this may be, so maybe the idea is that we are guessing. Maybe it will be easier sometimes to find action because user will remember that was a step in this workflow that I use. Fabrizio, please.
Sorry, I'm not gonna cannibalize your guys' time. I just have a quick question. Do you guys have predefined for which public you are building this? Because for me personally, as not being a coder, I think no code or NoCode-X, I should be able to build an application without having any knowledge. Now I've been playing a little bit around with NoCode-X, and honestly, I understand the feedback that it's quite complex. I think maybe an idea, throwing it up in the air, would be cool to have a noob mode and an expert mode for the coders who know how these things work, and then noobs like me who just want to make an agenda for my family and the kids, something digital, because it's always a mess at home. Who is bringing the kids to school, to sport, and stuff like this? This would be my first question. Do you know for which public you're targeting? So I think the approach would be different. And then definitely, make a simplified mode, because I think if you're going to make everything simple, the guys that have more knowledge but like to work with NoCode-X because it's go faster for certain parts, maybe they're gonna say, "Oh no, they made it too simple." So it's just my 2 pence of thoughts.
Yeah. So that if I may, I can address this. So we realize that, and we have been working on that. But the only thing is that we have been working it from bottom up. So we have been creating a no-code platform that is very powerful and allows you to do a lot of things, but with with such power comes a lot of complexity at the moment. So we're adding a layer on top of that, and we're adding a layer on top of that. As you can see what we're doing with the blocks, we're adding a layer that allows you to easily drag and drop a login page into place, or easily drag and drop a dashboard into place. And if you then use the AI that I've shown you that we're building to make some minor changes to that, that is doable for somebody that doesn't know how to develop. We are also adding rocket mode, which actually takes you from A to Z using just natural language. So that's the really the absolute beginner the beginner starting point. Then you dive into the visual development where you have the blocks and the AI to assist you to make some specific changes. That's the intermediate level, and then you do it all yourself within the visual development layer. That's the really more expert level, and even then we are thinking of another level, or we are actually creating another level where you will be able to extract the code that you created from NoCode-X if you want to change the actual code at that point. But that's the really expert level. So we're trying to create a platform that grows with you, and that starts from the beginner level, but at some point you will be wanting to the simple level is not is too simple for you, as you stated, Fabrizio, and you want to move on to a next level. You want to invest in learning a little bit, and so you'll be able to do more stuff, and then you dive down to the next level, and that's how we think of NoCode-X evolving in the future. The only thing is that we're working from the bottom up, so we're adding stuff on top of the more complicated stuff to make it easier. Does that make sense?
Definitely. Just a small comment, because when I think about NoCode-X, people tend to be more and more digital, and more stuff we do digital as well. Like, for example, as I said, maybe a mom want to create an agenda to manage her family, the agenda from the sports and the kids and stuff like this. And how cool would it be that even mom knows about NoCode-X because she saw on an ad on Facebook that there are templates, create an agenda, and that she can drag and drop a little bit her little tabs and put the name in from her kids, and she has her own made agenda that she can share with her family. You know, this is how I look at NoCode or NoCode-X, maybe towards the future, and that literally everybody would be able to use.
Yeah, so I think that should be our goal, to make it super simple for those that want it to be super simple, but also have the possibility to dive in deeper if you want to do more changes. And it's a really a challenge to make something very simple and very easy to use. And that's but that's why we are suggesting stuff like Maciek is suggesting. That's why we're creating these blocks. That's why we're using AI, stuff like that, to make the threshold of stepping into NoCode-X smaller and smaller and smaller.
Maybe I will pick from here, because so I think like the things I'm showing right now are ideas for that second layer. So it's like above like generated, and it's more than blocks. It's for users who will fiddle and tune output. And while working on this idea of picker, we also started to think maybe we can modify how the action flow looks right now. And here are again some ideas. I think I will be quick with it. So first of all, we think maybe those buttons can be only presented on hover, so we could maybe get rid of them constantly, and only when the mouse will be hover, they will be presented to just show a little bit less information here. Then we consider that maybe some of the names could be shorter. So fetch data record by ID, maybe it could be fetch record by ID or fetch data by ID, but like just cut some unnecessary words. Here also you can see twice the same name. This is because user can give his own name and there is a system default. And in this case, those are the same. So again, we consider on this path of simplifying, and this is the last simplifying step, that maybe we can present only one of them, although this one is the most polarizing in our team, I would say. But the idea is that if the user would change the name of the action, then that changed name would be presented, and if not, then we present the default, so that would look like that. So all those ideas just cut the number of visual information, but we are also considering to add one. So to trace actually what's happening in the action right now, it's very important to look at the scope, and like this step is creating a variable which is called book ID, and this is very important, and this book ID is then used in another step. This step consumes the book ID and creates book object. And you can only inspect it right now by manual clicking each of those steps. So here's the last idea I'm going to present today. We think maybe we could show those in the action. So this way, so yeah, we simplified up to
Yes.
the moment, and now we put a lot. It's just a lapse. We are just presenting it to hear your feedback. Are those the fields and areas where you felt you need some improvement or not? Please write us, I guess, because we are nearly done with our time here. But yeah, those are ideas. Those are things we consider to implement. Thank you.
What's the best way for people to give you feedback on this? Do you want people to go into Discord and jot their thoughts there, or is there a specific channel? What's your preference, Maciek?
Discord would be great, I guess. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
Discord.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I recommend go ahead and put a message out there and remind people to, give you feedback on what you showed. And if you want them to go to a particular channel to give feedback, that'd be good as well. But
also, when we publish to YouTube, is it possible to like comment there?
Say again, please.
Is it possible to comment whenever we publish our videos? Maybe that could be also
Absolutely.
even.
Yeah, that's what it's for. Yep.
And you know what?
Good.
Maybe it's even easier, and that's also great. So if you prefer, comment under the video, and we will look through those also.
Gotcha. All right, Rafal, I see you've gotten bitten by the time change as well. We're ending. We've been going for about an hour or so. Yeah, we're right at time. So thanks thanks everyone very much for joining this week's session. Tristan, any closing thoughts?
No, thanks guys for being here. Thanks for your questions. Thanks for your feedback. And if you have any more feedback, please hit us up on Discord, because we are doing this for your feedback, and so we really want to make a product for you guys and not for ourselves.
Yep. And a special thank you to Lloyd for sharing his application, and thank you also, Maciek, for sharing your ideas as well. Okay.
And if anybody has other applications that they built with NoCode-X and want to share them through the Campfire, please let us know. I think what we've seen from Lloyd is very interesting, and I hope we can do more of these in the future.
Yep. Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Have a good week.
Thanks.
See ya.